Let's get going on Chapter 12, Massive Gold Rush Nugget. This chapter starts with an intriguing AI-generated image on page 109, and speculation online has been running wild. Some ask whether the landscape shown resembles Washington or Montana, despite the text centering on California. Others point to the presence of the Big Dipper and Little Dipper constellations in the sky. In Latin, Ursa means bear, which may connect to the two bears on the Appalachian Trail map page. Between them, the constellation Draco, a dragon. Is it purely symbolic, or is there a celestial overlay for map alignment? Weird details in the saloon scene, page 109. Why is there a horse on the second floor? Is that X on the horse's flank a deliberate mark? What are the objects on the card table? Some suggest seeing musical notes, Sanskrit, even Hebrew symbols. And, most bizarrely, there might be a tiny piano near the front edge of the table. Is it AI noise or a symbolic clue? As one Discord user quipped in an old prospector voice, "What you mean piano, son?" Symbolic words and tenses. Love then versus love now. On page 114, JCB writes, "I've now called California my home for over 20 years. It's a place I love. Contrast this with page 224, eager for me to dispatch it quickly somewhere I loved. The present versus past tense has triggered a flurry of theories. Is the treasure hidden in a place JCB used to love? Or is he pointing us back to a chapter where he explicitly stated his love? Could California be misdirection? Chapter 12 is labeled Make Good Choices and opens with a quote by Daniel Kahneman. "We think each of us that we're much more rational than we are." Kahneman, who passed away in 2024, was a Nobel-winning psychologist whose work redefined human decision-making and challenged the assumptions of rational economic behavior. His influence on the theme of this chapter is clear. It's about perception, risk, bias, and decision-making under uncertainty. On the first page, JCB references several dates, 1562 and the arrival of the Spanish, 1821 marking the end of the Mexican War of Independence, 1848 when Mexico sold California to the U.S. for $15 million. He also notes that James K. Polk, the 11th president, oversaw this transition. Why specify he was the 11th? Is it another clue? What stands out on this page, however, is the origin story of California's name. The name California originates from a Spanish chivalric romance novel published in the early 1500s, Las Sergas de Esplandian by Garcia Rodriguez de Montalvo. In it, a powerful black Amazon queen named Calafia rules over a mythical island called California, where only women live. The island is rich in gold, and the women tame griffins to hunt men. The warriors' weapons are made entirely of gold. Spanish explorers encountering the Baja California Peninsula believed it was the same island, and the name stuck. The myth of Calafia reflects themes of dominance, treasure, power, and isolation, all relevant to the book's narrative arc. There's more. The name Calafia may come from the Arabic word khalifa, meaning ruler, which ties the Spanish literary tradition to Arabic linguistic influence. At the time, Spain's language still contained thousands of Arabic-derived words. This backstory subtly shifts how we interpret the title. There's treasure inside. The treasure may not just be physical gold, but hidden meanings, lost stories, and suppressed power, especially feminine power in myth. A griffin is a legendary mythological creature with the body of a lion and the head and wings of an eagle. It combines two animals regarded as kings, the lion, king of the beasts, and the eagle, king of the birds. Griffins symbolize guardianship. They are often placed at entrances, tombs, or treasure hoards to signify protection. Power and majesty. The combination of lion and eagle traits suggests dominance over both land and sky. Wisdom and vision. Eagles represent keen sight in the heavens, while lions represent strength and courage. In the context of There is Treasure Inside and Queen Calafia's myth, griffins serve as a metaphor for fierce protectors of sacred or powerful treasure, both literal and symbolic. The gold nugget featured on the next page is said to weigh over 21 ounces, and it was found near the American River. Page 111 is brimming with numerical nuggets. 9 days before signing the purchase agreement, A collection of nuggets was found 40 miles east of Sacramento. California's population was around 157,000 when it became the 31st state. Just 4 years later, an additional 300,000 people had moved there. If you do the math, that's a total of 457,000 Californians, suggesting explosive growth. And again, we encounter the number 40, a number that's cropped up repeatedly throughout the book. Is it pointing to California or something else? Then we're told that James Marshall spoke in January and that his words traveled 90 miles west to San Francisco. But this is where the geography gets tricky. 40 miles east of Sacramento plus 90 miles west of San Francisco equals a geographic impossibility if taken literally. These directional markers seem meant to confuse or mislead, or perhaps they're coded references. If you travel 40 miles west of Sacramento, you land somewhere between Sacramento and San Francisco. If you then go 90 miles east of San Francisco, you're back around Sacramento again. But to be both 40 miles east of Sacramento and 90 miles west of San Francisco at the same time, you'd have to be in the Pacific Ocean. Could this directional paradox be intentional, a riddle, or another prompt to question what we assume to be straightforward? Even more 90s. The number 90 appears again. 90,000 young men navigated to California, followed by another 90,000 in 1850. That's a total of 180,000 within 2 years. The text describes harbors turning into parking lots of abandoned ships. Could abandoned parking lots and the number 90 be a symbolic clue? Quick Reddit research reveals a ghost town near a 90 in Wyoming, filled with abandoned homes and vehicles. Discussions about rest stop closures and deteriorating facilities along Interstate 90 in Montana. Theories that abandoned parking lots signal speculative land grabs. Is the number 90 and the image of parking lots a hint toward a 90, a cross-country corridor, or a ghost town hiding treasure? There may be more to this number than meets the eye. Population parallels as clue markers. In 1852, the population of California was said to be 457,000. That exact number aligns remarkably close with the 2024 population of Miami, Florida, estimated at 456,229. Other cities in the same ballpark include Colorado Springs, CO, 456,568, 2016, Raleigh, North Carolina, 451,066, 2016, 499,825, 2024. If Jon Collins Black chose 457,000 deliberately, knowing it mirrors a modern city's population, he could be steering us toward a modern city with historical or symbolic relevance. Let's consider Miami. It's a coastal city tied to shipping, trade, and Latin American influence, much like early California. It's also one of the closest U.S. cities to the wreckage zones of Spanish treasure galleons, a theme deeply explored in Chapter 11. Could 457,000 be a cross-reference? Chapter 12 equals California. Chapter 11 equals shipwreck plus Spanish gold modern clue equals Miami. This kind of clue might require readers to match historical numbers with present-day counterparts, connecting thematic dots across centuries and continents. The fifth largest hint. JCB might also be directing our attention toward another clue hidden in rankings. Several theories point toward things listed as the fifth largest. Death Valley National Park is the fifth largest national park in the U.S. and the largest outside of Alaska. It's in California and Nevada, ground zero for gold rush history and mystery. Phoenix, Arizona is the fifth largest city in the U.S. by population. It's also a desert city with rich ties to ancient native civilizations and rumored hidden treasure lore. Mount Blackburn, Alaska, is the fifth highest mountain in the United States, possibly tying into earlier hints about elevation, peaks, or a bird's eye view. Why focus on fifth? Could it be a sequence key, like the fifth point on a star, or a way of triangulating from other locations ranked similarly? If multiple fifth largest places are plotted on a map, do they form a path or a constellation? The fifth largest star is KY Cygni, a red supergiant located in the constellation Cygnus. It is approximately 1,420 to 2,800 times larger than our sun. This thread of thought deserves more exploration as we move into the second half of the book. Stay tuned, there's more to mine from chapter 12. The light in the saloon flickered like a warning, casting shadows that danced across warped floorboards and dusty liquor bottles. But it wasn't the drink or the desert heat that made you feel dizzy. It was the feeling that someone or something had left you a message in plain sight. You've noted that thousands and millions are referenced multiple ways. That could be a numbering trick. Look at page numbers, chapter headers, or sentence placements where thousands or millions appear. A potential cipher key in many puzzles, switching number sets, e.g. Roman numerals, comma placement, digit groups, can yield index clues or coordinate hints. The use of thousands versus millions might be a reference to scale or proximity. Are we zoomed in or zoomed out? We should. Index each instance of thousands or millions and note how it's used. See if those instances line up with other repeated words or symbols, like cowboy, XD, etc. Cowboys in the saloon picture, you spotted 2 cowboys upstairs, 1 horse painting without hooves, 2 visible X's on the horse drawing, a visible D shape or initial. This may break into several clue strands. D plus X equals XD Ranch, which points to X Diamond Ranch. The missing hooves on the horse could suggest hidden legs, or something incomplete, or underground, metaphorically or literally buried. 2 upstairs cowboys may imply above, or something you must rise to understand. Mezzanine level, second layer of meaning. Ranch connections. You've uncovered several real-world ranches containing X and D themes. X Diamond Ranch, White Mountains, Arizona luxury, plus fly fishing, possibly symbolic. Fly no disguise, lure, fishing, search, could be connected to Apache lore, especially since this is in eastern Arizona. Triangle X Ranch, Grand Teton, Wyoming 5-generation ranch. Triangle could imply 3 clues or a trinity, body, mind, spirit. XD Ranch in Hobson, Montana. Peaceful and remote. Montana equals common fen hunting grounds. Does this loop into other treasure hunt narratives? Montana also has deep cowboy and mining history, as well as Lewis and Clark exploration sites. Hidden clue theory. Let's develop the possible symbolism. D and X are prominent, could imply coordinates, and X marks the spot or initials. The horse with missing hooves could represent an incomplete trail. Upstairs cowboys could mean knowledge from a higher place. Look above or seek wisdom in layered meaning. The X's in the horse may be tied to branding. Cattle brands often hold secrets in design. Now combine that with the number motifs. What if thousands equals horizontal marker, X, millions equals vertical marker, Y, coordinates? Chapter 12 may be setting us up for a map overlay or cipher grid. We saw a horse without hooves, branded not by steel but by mystery. 2 X's and a D, as if whispering Diamond X through paint and time. But this isn't just art, it's a map. A map not of places, but of ideas. And what do we make of California, the 31st state, the origin of the gold rush, and the place Jon Collins called home for 20 years? Why drop that detail, unless it matters? Maybe it does, because that golden nugget, it's 21 ounces, 1 year more, just out of reach. A pattern of almost there, 20, 21. January, December, a cycle, a loop, start and end, both waiting in the shadows of meaning. Then there's the number 90. Is it degrees, heat, a directional clue? And what about the 5th largest, a state, a city, a nugget? Each number adds a layer, each symbol another trail to follow. And in this maze of meaning sits an abandoned parking lot and a river, side by side like forgotten crossroads in the story. We're told time is the real treasure, but chapter 12 suggests something else, something hidden beneath seasons, wrapped in ceremony. Because both January and December are named, and that's no accident. The Hopi calendar speaks of the soil and Poamuya, rituals of purification, reflection, and rebirth. The treasure may lie where these energies cross. So let's recap. A strange horse, two X's in a D, California, the 31st state, the elusive number 90, the fifth largest something, 2 winter months, and a river near a forgotten lot. Maybe you see it, maybe you don't, but somewhere in that tangle is a path forward. One final thought before we close. Could all of this be a cipher hidden in plain sight? A map that doesn't point to land, but to alignment of numbers, of time, of self. We'll be back soon with chapter 13. But until then, I'll leave you with this. X marks the thought. D marks the direction. And you? You bring the map. Happy hunting, friends.